Google just changed the rules again, and this time it's not just an update, it's a full AI takeover. Today I'm breaking down what might be the biggest shift in SEO ever since the Panda update, ever since Hummingbird, Penguin, you name it, this is huge. Google's new AI mode doesn't just summarize pages, it gives you product feeds directly in the search results. It provides you information in a new, complex, and informative way that we haven't seen before. You could even book things for users without ever leaving the search result. AI mode is now supercharged with Project Mariner. This is Google's new autonomous agent, which now means it can research, compare, and act on the user's behalf. Now, what does all this mean? Well, this is bad news for a lot of websites that aren't optimized for SEO yet. So if your content isn't discoverable by AI, semantically related, and topically on point, you're going to be left behind. What you'll feel over time is less traffic, less leads, and overall less revenue to your website. That may seem really scary, but I'm here to tell you today that it's not all over. Organic is still a very powerful channel, and if AI mode is now completely within the SERP and completely within the user's hands, you just need to figure out how to optimize for those search results, how to rank to get those placements and those citations in those AI mode results. So if you start adapting your content now, you'll be thanking yourself in a few years' time when you're appearing in those search results and getting all the traffic. So today I'm going to share with you 7 strategies to optimize for these new type of search results. Now this can work across Google's AI mode, it can work across Gemini, it can work across Perplexity, ChatGPT. These come from AI audits, prompt tests, citation lab experiments. This comes from a lot of the research we've done of how to optimize for these search results. So whether you're a media site, an e-commerce website, a service-based business, this is for you. And at the end, I'm going to show you something that the AI agents can't actually replicate and how brands are smartly using it to stay essential. So first up, make your website agent friendly. This isn't just for SEO crawlers anymore. This is for the agents. They may be going through your website, clicking and interacting with your booking page. Make sure that those agents can actually access important features of your website. AI search is actually evolving into task automation more than just retrieval of information. And with Google's Project Mariner, with ChatGPT custom tasks, DeepSeek, users can now say, book me a demo or find a refund policy, even buy that product, but only if the shipping is free and I can get a discount. This is for the AI agents. They're going to be making decisions on behalf of the user. So if they're handling that job, you have to make sure that an agent can get through to your website. So what your test can be is actually prompt an AI agent to enact a real goal on your website. When you start testing that agent, you'll be able to understand, can it find your CTA? Can it interact with your navigation? Can it submit a form? And then if an agent actually can't get through and complete the task that you've given it, you can ask it, hey, what happened? What was the blocker in that situation? And after you do those tests, you'll be able to get a world of insights into how agents are experiencing your website, because they're really going to matter long term if it's going to be a blocker to your conversion. Now next up is structured data and schema. Now this used to be a thing where I said in SEO, it was the cream on the top. After you've done your foundational SEO, schema is something you address because it's highly technical, it can go wrong pretty easily, and it's a bit harder to implement than your basic SEO practices. But now it isn't optional, it's an absolute necessity in 2025. Google has said it loud and clear that structured data actually matters. So for AI mode and AI overviews, making it really easy for your website to be understood by crawlers is the name of the game. And whether it's actually going to show up as a trusted answer to its user base. Think about it from Google's perspective. They're going to want to present websites that are trustworthy and easy to crawl. Schema is a great way to do that. If you allow it to understand your page, very simply, you'll be shortcutting a process that may take weeks, months, or years. The same goes for ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini. While they're citing pages, they're looking for shortcuts and they're looking for ways to cite sources really easily. If your website isn't marked up right now, you need to be addressing those issues. What you can do is go through the rich test result. It's a free tool to use. You can plug in any page, homepage, product page, blog content, and you'll see some red flags if you have incorrect structured data on that page. Address those issues first. What's great with things like ChatGPT is you can implement schema fixes very easily. Take that code, copy it over, and see what the problems might be. So some high-value schema markup will be organizational information, products, offer, reviews, FAQ pages, how-tos, articles, and video objects. And in a second, I'm going to show you in ChatGPT how easy it is to generate your code for your website. Keep watching. This is where you can use a tool like ChatGPT. You can also use other LLMs for this purpose, but what you can simply do is take your URL of the page that you want to fix and type in, what schema type should I add onto this page? Guess what? It's going to give you the answer plain and simple. They'll usually return you a full list, sometimes in JSON LD, and you can copy and paste that straight into your page. Now you've just turned an AI tool that might crawl your website in the future into your own assistant. How cool is that? Now how to add this schema to your website? By platform, it's very different. On WordPress, you can use something like Rank Math. Schema Pro, or Yoast, or even custom block injections. For Shopify, you can add that JSON into the meta fields or grab the JSON LD for SEO app and install it through there. For custom builds, you will have access to drop inside the head tag your schema markup before the body tag. Keep it lean, keep it valid, and always keep testing if there's errors coming up using the rich results testing tool. Real quick, there is a lot of debate around the llms.txt file, whether you put it in your website and whether you don't do it. What you can do is create a text file called llms.txt similar to a robots.txt file and copy these parameters into it. This has been proposed as a protocol for LLMs to crawl websites in the future. However, there is no mass adoption. It is just purely experimental. So if you have the ability to do that, I recommend you do it. If you don't want to do it, don't worry about it for now. Now, next up is targeting long-tail conversational queries. I've been talking about this a lot for the last few years. Conversational keywords is where SEO is heading. No longer are we looking at just head terms like what is accounting software. We're looking at things like what is this accounting software that is best for a business between $5 to $10 million that is on a growth trajectory for 2026. Those types of nuanced and complex questions, they're a mouthful to say, and people are going to be searching like this in the future because these AI platforms have the ability to answer those complex queries with tailored information. So all those traditional keyword metrics that we used to think about, search volume, keyword difficulty, intent, that's completely jumbled up now. You need to be targeting the questions that people are answering in the real world. Now, people don't say what is an accounting software, they give more long tail answers like the example I gave you. Here's another example. In old SEO, you look at something like best protein powder, but in AI search, you might be looking at something like what is the best protein powder for women over 40 with sensitive stomachs. You see the shift in intent, you see how it isn't just so simple anymore. The user is actually in the driving seat. They have the ability to give these conversational type searches and actually get pretty decent search results at this stage. Now, these ultra specific questions often show search volume in Ahrefs and SEMrush, or don't even appear at all. But in LLM land, well, they're primed for citations. But now in this splintering world of search, you've got the ability to capture the intent of very hyper-specific users. And if you were to show up in those search results for those hyper-specific users, you're going to be primed to get leads and conversions off that search. And you're asking me, Lawrence, how do I actually find these keywords now? You've got me all excited. Well, you can use a traditional keyword research tool like we all use, but you're gonna have to go a level deeper. Something that we've done more of in the last few years is use people also asked. It's a great section on the normal search results that will provide you questions that are relevant to that initial search. Those are great for building main topical clusters. Another way of doing it is to go into a ChatGPT, to Perplexity, plug in your head term and look at the follow-up answers coming off that initial search. Now let's keep it really simple. I like keeping it practical for people. Use a simple prompt like this. List the 30 questions that a user may ask before choosing this product or this service, and it will give you a bunch of questions to start from. Another thing you can do is using voice searches. Now, voice search used to be somewhat of a meme. People thought it was going to be the future, but I think the future is now aligned and it's here. What you can do is go into a ChatGPT, into AI mode, and actually voice out a question. And voice out a question that would be very, very conversational, as if you're talking to a friend or on a call talking about an issue you're having, and see what it comes back with. See what it infers from those questions and how it structures its answer. Now, once you've built out all of these questions and all these keywords that you might want to target, you can build those into different content assets. Whether you start off with a typical pillar page or whether you break them down into a standalone FAQ style blog, or whether you go hyper specific and you have that long tail question and you build an entire category page or a blog content or a short snippet of content on whatever platform to address that search result. You might even go to the extent of making a simple TikTok reel or YouTube short. Now, we're going a little bit outside of the realms of SEO, but I think that's where things are heading. Diversity of content is going to be very important, and I'll talk about that later. Even for myself right now, I'm experimenting a lot on our websites with long tail conversational searches. These have no keyword volume, but they're getting picked up by different LLMs for different attributes they have or different semantics in those questions. It's driving small amounts of traffic and clicks at the moment, but I'm expecting that to build over the next couple years. So ultimately, don't just chase keywords. Keywords are a great place to start as a foundation, but you have to be looking at conversational type searches, what people really ask in AI, ask in voice assistants, and use tools to your advantage. Now we're getting into the territory that dominating multiple services, multiple platforms is going to be critical for your SEO. Now let's get something straight, that Google is no longer the only gatekeeper of search anymore. And if you're only optimizing for blog content right now, yeah, that's a great start, but in the future, you may be invisible to search results. AI search platforms don't just pull from your website, they pull from everywhere. Everywhere that your brand may be mentioned, everywhere that a topic may be mentioned as well. So what that actually means for you is something like Gemini at the moment really loves YouTube, which makes sense because Google owns YouTube, especially shorts with very clear summaries and video object schema. Perplexity pulls directly from Reddit at the moment. It likes expert replies, it likes opinion threads, it likes real breakdowns of real issues and pain points that users are having. ChatGPT, with the ability to search live websites, it pulls from product pages, it pulls from LinkedIn articles, FAQs, roundup posts. It will show you clean and useful information. So the question to ask yourself is, are you visible in every one of those platforms at the moment? Or are you just clinging to your blog articles? And if you have no blog at the moment, you have to start doing that ASAP. And for people that are very advanced and doing really well in SEO at the moment, your blog is a great foundation to start building up these assets in other platforms. So don't just think about SEO campaigns as a singular focus anymore. Think about how many services you can take over just with the one topic on multiple platforms. Your new mindset has to be omnipresence. Don't think about just an SEO campaign. Think about once you've built out strong content, it's ranking well, how can I take that content and make sure I'm appearing on multiple surfaces, on multiple platforms for that same topic. You may be thinking to yourself, man, that is going to be a lot of work to do. However, you don't need a huge team for this. You have the ability to access a lot of tools at the moment that can shortcut this process. You just need a smart tech stack to allow that to happen. You can build a lot of automations. Once you build out some powerful content, you can spin that into LinkedIn carousels. You can spin that into Reddit breakdowns. You can spin that into Instagram posts or TikTok reels. You can take any blog post and turn that into a script, and then take that script and break that down into multiple reels. You've got all this ability right now to take content that's valuable and distributing that into multiple channels. And why does this work? The more platforms you appear on, the more structured your content is, the more high authority websites cite your content, the more likely it is for AI to cite that content as well. And this is one pillar of what I call organic dominance. This is the advanced level of SEO that we're entering into. Think about a new ethos, and what I like to say is be everywhere and trusted. Flipping back to something more practical, on-site SEO. AI might be the future of search, but if your website's broken, you're not going to move beyond the starting line. Let's be real, these LLMs are very, very smart, but they still crawl your website like Google does. They need to understand, cite, and recommend you. So here's a quick fix list of 3 fundamentals that you just cannot afford to skip right now. The first one up is just page speed, making sure that your website runs quickly for users. A slow website equals a slow death, and that goes for users and AI alike. If your website takes too long to load or relies heavily on JavaScript, an LLM may deprioritize it in the search results. They want fast, clean, and render-ready HTML. So run your homepage, your product pages, your key pages through GTmetrix, Google Page Insights, something like webpagetest.org, and start identifying those issues. And again, you can flip back to a ChatGPT, a Gemini, paste those results in and ask it, explain how to fix these page speed issues step by step for a WordPress website or whatever platform you're on. You'll get an action plan, and this is something I wish I had back in the day with SEO. We had to manually build these reports ourselves, but right now, you've got the ability to do it in 30 seconds when it used to take me an hour. And again, why does it matter? If AI can't render your website fast enough, the users won't trust you and it won't cite you enough in those search results. Next up is heading structure and AI readability. If your headings are messy and chaotic, LLMs can't pass your H1s, your H2s, and just like Google does, they use it to decide whether a page has the right content hierarchy to be able to serve the right search result. There's a lot of guides online on how to structure out your page, but really quickly, your H1 should be your page topic, your H2s should be those major sections and those major questions coming off that pillar topic, and H3s are those supporting points, those FAQs and examples and case studies. And a bonus quick tip is to phrase your H2s like AI prompts. For example, if people ask, is creatine safe for women? Literally use that for your heading. Back to what I was talking about with those conversational searches. AI overviews will love this at the moment, so you can presume that AI mode will love this as well. And the last one is conversion clarity. In AI mode, you get less traffic, but more intent. So every single click of that page, every single interaction of that user is going to be highly important. So ask yourself, is your main CTA visible above the fold? Is it obvious when you land on that page what there is to do next? And finally, can the AI agent easily understand your offer as the solution to what its user is is asking for. Whether it's a free demo, a free trial, an email opt-in, or a booking link, make sure it's very clear and complete that the AI agent can click it without hesitation. In short, treat every single visit like it's the last opportunity that user will have to ever convert, because in an AI-driven SERP, it might just be. Now, next up is something you might consider as standard, but also after that is something a little bit out of left field. So first up is having Google Search Console installed on your website. The number of times I come across a client or a business, they don't have Google Search Console set up, meaning that they don't know the impressions, they don't know the clicks or the click-through rate, they don't know their average positioning on the keywords that they're trying to rank for. It's a huge miss. Get that installed on your website, because you can imagine in AI mode, not having the practical data to say if you're landing on the right impressions. And at the moment, we don't have information about AI overviews or AI mode's click data or its impression data. And I imagine at some point, Google will need to give that information to its users. Otherwise, there's nothing to optimize for and people will start moving off the platform. Now, after that, making sure that you also have Bing Webmaster tools set up. And why am I talking about Bing? Well, it's a little bit left in the corner. People don't really consider it as a big search engine. However, ChatGPT pulls live data from Bing. That isn't directly related to AI mode at the moment, as it's a different platform, but you can imagine with the market share and the clicks coming through a different platform, indirectly, that brand authority is going to increase. So while you're trying to optimize for AI mode, making sure that you have other features and other webmaster tools set up like in Bing is going to be very useful for you in the future. Now, last up, and something I'm very passionate about and helping people do, is building simple, useful web tools for your users. Now, here's my theory. In SEO in the future, that being remembered from a brand perspective is going to be more important than appearing in a search result. Indirectly, if your brand is remembered, you're going to drive up branded search volume, which will allow you to rank for different types of keywords, whether they be traditional head terms or conversational type keywords. Now, the way of doing this is thinking about how you can get remembered in different ways than just a really great blog post. One way of doing that is building out practical tools for users to remember your brand and website for the use of that tool. Think about being bookmarked constantly for a very practical thing that you've put out there. Now, this is a more advanced form of SEO. Not everyone gets to the stage of being able to do this, but the great SEO case studies have done a lot of this in the past. So something as simple as creating a ROI tool for the particular service that you're in, building an interactive experience about trying to shop for the right dress for the right occasion, a ring size estimator. These are all practical things that people need that aren't just typical informational content. What I'm talking about here is nothing new. It's just literally product-led SEO. And if you haven't read the book, Product-Led SEO, I think it's now more relevant than ever. The difference was back then, product-led SEO was more for the higher tier campaigns. But now, with the introduction of tools that can do a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the assistance in these campaigns, being able to build a tool, being able to code something really unique for your users is going to be easier. Even I have the ability to do that now. Now, what's great about these practical tools, like an SEO ROI calculator, is they increase dwell time. If I was to put up a blog about SEO pricing and the different pricing structures that you might experience when looking through an SEO agency or consultant, if I also put in a widget about SEO ROI, that's going to be highly relevant to the user and the next stage probably in their journey. Therefore, I'm increasing their dwell time on that page and getting them to interact with that page. And why is that important? Well, we know through the antitrust trials that Google has made it very explicit at this point. They've had to reveal the hood, is that they use engagement, they use click data, they use Chrome data as well for their ranking signals. So what you can do is use something like ChatGPT, use Gemini 2.0, Canva, any of these vibe coding tools, and say, write me a simple JavaScript tool that works on any WordPress website. You can also level that up with a pro move to add in software application schema to that new tool that you've launched on your website. And when that code is complete, you can grab that, preview it, and then put it on your website and get users to actually interact with it. Now, what's cool about these tools is they don't scale. Blog content is very easy to replicate now. I can take blog content, competitor articles, and build my own content. However, building a tool is more unique, it's cool, they're sticky, they're shareable, they're also citable by these tools, and trusted resources for LLMs to utilize. When everything else is getting now summarized in search results in 3 seconds or less, you've got a utility that stands out and can be more actionable for your user to use. And there you have it. Those are all my tips for ranking in Google's new AI mode. Those are steps not just to survive, but also thrive in the future as well. And to summarize those steps again, make a website that is agent friendly. Make sure that your website has strong structured data and schema markup. Start targeting long tail and conversational queries. Dominate your niche. Dominate on multiple platforms and surfaces. Don't just appear in Google, but other platforms too. Fix your on-site SEO. Fix technical issues such as page speed, your heading, hierarchy structure, your CTAs. Those are going to be very key too. Make sure that you've got Google Search Console and yourself set up on other Webmaster tool platforms in the future. And finally, just a mindset shift for the SEOs and business owners out there that are worried about their website traffic. The best thing you can do right now is stay very dialed in. This is a time for a lot of change happening across the industry. So stay plugged in, look at what's actually working, test your prompts, audit your website's brand's perception in different platforms. Is it correct? If it isn't, start updating your website content, your website experience to reflect what you're actually about. This isn't the end of SEO by all means, it's just shifting into a new form of search. And this new era is going to be very interesting. You've got an agentic future where people and agents are going to be interacting with websites in new and exciting ways. There's a great opportunity to leverage that, generate traffic, generate clicks, but then finally generate revenue. You don't want to be sitting there a few years later wondering what the hell happened. You need to start getting on this stuff right now. So like this video if it gave you something practical to implement. Comment below if you're starting something today. I would love to hear about your experience and what you're trying out to optimize for AI overviews. And in the description below, you can subscribe to my mail listing, which will give you access to my AI SEO playbook, which features all types of prompts, templates, strategies to use to optimize for not only AI mode, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and any future type of LLM platform that's going to be driving traffic to your website. So click the link, put in your email, and I'll send the playbook directly to you. So thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And remember, be everywhere trusted.